Well, hello everyone and a warm welcome. So it's the final look at our phenomenally popular one-day special with the ledge that is John next door. John, how you doing, buddy?
I'm all right, so
busy.
I just had the mistake of seeing myself in the game. No.
It's been so busy.
It has. It's been absolutely crazy.
What I like about you come up with ideas. You're a crafter.
Yes.
So when you develop something, you kind of develop it with that crafty stance of what would I need, and you do get it right every time. I'm just going to say really quickly, and we're kind of breaking the rules here, but I'm going to tell you about the one-day special. It's here, but then we're going to go on to quite quickly the complete. And the only reason we're doing this is nearly everybody is going for that complete collection. And once you see it, you'll realise why. So with the one-day special, we're talking occasions, and you've got all those big occasions coming through. So you've got big people in your life. When you talk about grandparents, mothers, daughters. Then you've got your, and look at that. This is what I love about the system, John. It's a modular system.
Yeah.
So it can be great-grandson. It can be mum on your birthday, or congratulations, mum, on your retirement. You know, it can be anything.
You can build what you want from them. So you take from the 3 sets. So you can put, you know, you're a star stepdad.
Oh, that's nice.
You know, things you couldn't normally do, you know. And I particularly like the best wishes and the you're a star, because the sentiments you can send on cards that don't have to be for an occasion, just to remind someone you're thinking of them or something, that will work. But you can choose, so you can go for mum or mum-in-law or mother-in-law, daughter, stepdaughter, daughter-in-law. You can mix them together, granddaughter, great-granddaughter.
It could be sympathy on your new home. Because if they missed out on the home they wanted and had to get another home, there you go.
Why not? I mean, you can mix them together. I mean, we looked earlier. I think Hayley and I were playing this morning. I actually took You're a Star and we cut it down into the individual pieces.
Oh, nice.
So, you know what I mean? So you can mix it. Yeah. You know, you can change them around. We did. I mean, everyone's been trying to think of funny ones, and
what about
I can't remember a single one of them now.
What about You're a Dad?
Yes. So. Well, we said that one actually. You put that on a card and just write surprise on the front, and then inside have You're a Dad.
My wife, you know how my wife told me?
Go on.
So she bought a mug, and she made me a drink in the morning, and when I drank the drink, at the end of the mug it says You're a Dad.
Oh,
there you go. That's quite nice. Yeah.
But I think things like that are quite cute, and you could go You're a Dad, or You're a Granddad.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. You're a granddad.
Or You're a grandmother. You know, or you know, you can play with it. So just because those are together in one doesn't mean you can't separate them. Things like new job, you can separate that. So you could actually separate it, and you could have, you know, you could have new son, new daughter.
Oh, that's nice.
You know, so you could put celebrate your new daughter, celebrate your new son, or something like that. You know, you can work it, or your new in-laws.
Well, it's a fully modular system. So that's a one-day special, and I'm only getting it onto the complete because that's where everyone's going. But with the one-day special, you are saving £3. You're getting all 3 sets, and this is a set that John has been building on. So the Stencil sentiments brought out some in the past, going to bring out more in the future, and it's going to be a big collection that's only going to grow and grow. So that's your one-day special, 487098. The complete collection. So you're getting that £3 saving already factored into your complete collection. Then you're getting a further £5 saving. If you're a Freedom member, the saving goes even higher. So as a Freedom member, your saving is £10.59 plus the £3 that's already factored into your price. And not only that, it works out less than £1 per die. And when we're talking dies, let me show you, because this is where life really gets interesting. Let's have a good look at this, because key figures in your life, and John will be expanding the range in time, but that is kind of a core staple.
It's the core, and I know people have said to me, oh, we want Nana and Nan and Gramps and things like that, but you've got your basics in there, and we can build on that one. I did add Mam in, because I've got friends in Birmingham and Solihull area. And I've got friends in the northeast, and when I did stamps and I didn't put Mam in, I got shouted at by both of them.
Well, it's funny how
I added that in.
Do you know what's funny how everyone calls their mum differently? I say mum, friends say mam.
I say M-O-M an awful lot, and I haven't put that in.
Alex, our floor manager, says mom.
Ah, that doesn't surprise me. That really doesn't surprise me. But you have got here, you've got things like grandma.
Yeah.
So you've got the formal and the informal. So you've got grandmother and grandma, grandfather and granddad. So you've got those. But again, because you've got things like the ampersand's important. So you've got the and sign.
Yeah.
So you can do
aunt and uncle.
Grandfather and grandfather, grandmother and grandfather. You can do aunt and uncle. You can do, you know, sort of cousin and whatever. You can mix them together.
Do you know what else is good and something that's overlooked? What about dad and dad?
Yes.
Mum and mum.
You can do dad and dad.
Yeah, see now
I never thought of that one.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the reasons we did grandchild in there, because sometimes people don't like to be gender specific.
Yeah.
And just say, you know, I've got a new grandchild, or congratulations on your new grandchild.
If they told you and you've forgotten.
Well, that's the way I use it, to be quite honest. It's like, I didn't pay enough attention.
Why did they say a boy
so
or a girl?
I'll do grandchild and do it in lemon. It'll be easy.
Done.
But you've got those options, but you've also say build it. But when you add on the other dies in the set...
This is the key to it. So, and can I just point out, the size is incredible. I love the actual design because it's cutting into it, and then you can put anything behind. Here, John's just put magnetic sheet behind, works so well. Then we've got our key sort of events going through as well. So celebrate, get well, retirement, sympathy, new home, birthdays, graduations soon. So you've got all those sort of key words there.
You have, and again, you can mix those together or you can cut them up. You don't have to use new and home.
Yeah.
You can just cut it out so you've got home or job, or, because I think we came up earlier, it was you need a new job or something someone put out, someone suggested. But you add those to it, so those are your occasions, and then you get your sort of, I can't never think of the right word of this, I think we called them additions in the end. But you've got the bits you would add, so you've got your You're a Star best wishes, but sorry, with, lots of, love, on the, belated, on your, so that you can combine them with these. You can combine them with the ones I did at Christmas, which you'll see in some of the samples. You can combine them with the ones I launched last September, and you'll be able to combine them with the new ones that are coming out throughout this year. So there are more done and drawn and ready that will drop slowly, because I believe in, rather than launching lots of everything at once, let's make it in choosable chunks and choose which bits you want. Not everyone may want anniversaries, which is one that's coming up. But then other people may want that and not actually want relatives.
I like that, and it's nice. It's giving people that autonomy to really zero in and pick what they like. Now, with the complete collection, you're not only getting what you would have in the one-day special plus an additional saving, you're getting your tartan die, which you can see, it's over here. You can get your tartan die here, and you're getting your squares in there as well. Let me show you it all together, because once you do put it all together, now have a look at this. Tartan background, how clear are these words? I mean, they look so, so good. And I love that this is a really nice card, actually. Isn't it nice? Has someone turned off the lights? We'll just, there we go, sorry. So you can see here, the pink with the white background, and then you got the white background, so the white top with the pink background, so just flipping it. Really nice.
Just works, and it's strong against the pink, white and black. But that could be for absolutely anyone. So if you wanted to, you could, on your retirement mum, or celebrate on your retirement. You can, you know, mix them all around. Or this is one of the hardest cards I ever think to make. But again,
if you're going to make it, you want to make a beautiful one.
Yes, you do. And I think as well, to be honest, I wouldn't want to buy a stamp set that just said with sympathy. There's more and more in there. Or happy birthday grandma. The happy comes from the original set in September. But you could have belated birthday grandma, celebrate your birthday grandma. Again, you can keep mixing them, but you'll see how the beautiful Southey squares with the dots just work with all of these.
That's nice.
And that's using the tag, just again, around a background.
See, and important figures in your life. By the way, we've got to say, because a lot of people, and I haven't mentioned in a little while, are keeping track of the love story that is Mish and our producer Katie. It's got serious. Because Grandma has actually had a little Zoom chat with her and given her approval. She's met the grandma.
That's the most important thing.
Which is nice. You know, getting the approval.
It's never the mother-in-law, it's the grandmother-in-law.
Yeah, that's it.
You want to be careful.
So look, it is a great bundle. It was so busy at launch. I want to put this into perspective, because we have, and it is all relative, obviously, in how much starting stock you have when we're calling updates. Company like Crafts2, John Next Door, bring an awful lot of stock, and they have that sort of buying power. They try and give, and you're always popular, John, so I know on this occasion you even brought even more stocks. We had a huge amount. We could potentially be selling out of the one-day special this hour, which we actually didn't think we were going to do. We thought we had so much stock, so we could be calling, we're approaching limited stock. I could be calling limited stock very quickly because we are busy and we could be selling out. I'm just putting that out there. When you consider what you're getting, the tartan background, we haven't even, very quickly because I know we've got to move on, but the squares are so useful with that beautiful detailing.
They really are. What you've got the beautiful sort of, it's not a stitch detail, it's a perfect circle which punches out on every single one. And as they shrink, so as they get smaller, the circles get smaller as well, so they're all in scale.
Wow,
rather than being the same size on each one, they shrink a little bit on each one to keep that scale going.
Lovely. OK, we've got to get to demonstration. We've got a lot more on the website. Got to tell you, there's one specific die that comes with buttons that we've got to show you. We'll have a look on the website because that's sold out. We've got it back on extended delivery, but that is going to go. So let's try and find it. There's so much to see. There it is. So here you can see your circle die. So effectively, it cuts out your craft candy in there, and then you're getting the buttons too. Have a look at the saving though. The saving is incredible. So it should be costing £38.95 that bundle. You're paying £9.99. The die in itself is incredible. Just to have that uniformity with your candy, your craft candy. You were saying like on certain cards, John, you were chatting with Joe Shannon.
Yeah.
And just being able to take a card and have that continuity of your embellishment.
Joe uses this die all the time. She said she's had it years.
Yeah.
And the idea is that she can use any backing paper or background paper she's made herself.
Yeah.
She can use that and she can have an embellishment that matches exactly for the front of a card coming from the back. And that's how we balance out projects, is by having the same colour that's at the back at the front. It gives you a really good eye feel, if that makes sense.
So just showing you here, just taking that backing paper, but then using the die to cut out your own craft candy. You're telling me with this, I mean, if you were to buy bags of it, about £2 or £3 quid?
It was £2 or £3, I think, as I remember, to buy, and that was just one colour. Whereas this, so effectively, if you've got the set and you cut yourself it 3 times, you've got the same as 3 bags for the same price.
Wow, okay.
And then you can make anything else you make then is bonus.
I like your style. We're going to get to demonstration. If you've got any questions for John, please get in touch. studio@thecraftstore.com. John, what we got?
Right, so I thought we'd do a different. I've shown you quite a few different ways to use the sentiments, but I thought I'd do a card where we're tying in the squares and the sentiments, and shows you again a slightly different way to do it. And this is quite a useful one to do if you're not sure of the. Okay, if you like to do like me, and you like to have a card ready and then you put the actual occasion or the person on afterwards. So we're going to make a birthday card. So what I've done is I've sped this up a little bit.
Okay.
So I've already taken my Southie squares and I've cut out the 4-inch square from white.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I've used the 3-inch square to cut out the middle.
Okay.
To give me a frame.
A perfect frame.
Yeah, perfect frame. And that frame is ½ an inch round on every side because the dies are actually mathematically correct.
Could I ask a quick question?
You can.
You did say this yesterday. I just want to double check, so I want to say this and be wrong. Can we thread through if we wanted to?
You can, yeah.
See, that's nice.
To be honest, you've paid for it. You can do what you like with it because you've bought it. It's yours.
Lovely to do.
But yeah, you could do the old
detail.
Spirelli idea where you're basically just threading threads through. Do you remember the paintings people used to have?
Yeah.
I mean, I know we had one. I should have said it when I had Paola, and it was actually of a sort of flamenco dancer.
Oh, nice.
That was all done with string. But again, you could thread between these with embroidery threads. If you've got leftover from projects, I know Sam does a little bit of embroidery now.
Nice.
A little bit of cross stitch. So we've got quite a lot. He has, yeah.
He really has.
He genuinely has.
I've seen the, and from his samples that he does as well, the
He's actually embroidered some of the stamps we've got coming in Christmas.
Did he ever do any crafting before he met you?
No. He'd done little bits. His mum found his Christmas note to Santa from when he was about 8, and it said gift vouchers, CDs and crafting stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
So he was into it as a kid.
At 8 years old?
Yeah.
That's cute.
I think we all are at that stage.
Yeah.
Crafting is just adult playing. It's as learning again how to have fun.
We all love a play.
So what I've done is I've cut from grey the 5-inch square.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So we started with a 5-inch in grey and a 4-inch in white. Okay. So I've just roughly in the middle put my white on, but I'm then going to take the 3-inch square and just drop it back in. to that space.
Cheeky.
And that's how you can get an easy double frame.
Nice.
So make that frame, glue it down, and then drop the die that made that frame back in the middle. So with this card, I'm only using, before I sort of added flowers and things, the dies that are in the complete collection and a guillotine.
Okay.
So you don't, I'm not adding anything else. I don't have to have plain nesting dies or anything.
How many messages do you get about the Kaleido when's it going to be back?
It's
all the time, right?
Constantly.
So, and when is the Kaleido back?
Sunday.
Sunday, everybody. So tune in. If you missed out on the Kaleido, it's a revelation.
Yeah, it is marvellous. I cannot
game changer
genuinely
of a
wait.
machine.
It is. To me, it's something that no other machine does. And I've used it constantly as it is a die cutting machine. In fact, a lady actually commented, and she put on there. I've actually taken a Photoshop of it for Sunday. She actually put that ignore the foiling and everything else. It was worth it for the die cutting ability alone.
Right.
And she no longer uses her big electric plate wrecking machine.
Yeah.
She only does everything through this.
I don't know what you mean. I love when you say plate wrecking.
No, I'm not. Well, I'm not going to say that's not fair on brands because I had the same problem as everybody else.
Yeah, but it does.
And I'm on the same plates as I've had. These are still my prototype plates. So these are not just my plates that came with, say, the machine I use on air. These are my prototype plates. So I've had these over a year.
Wow, and look, and can you just say how straight are they?
I don't have a second one for home, and I don't have a second one. I don't have one for home and one for TV. This one moves with me. Perfect. So I've used these plates thousands of times.
That's impressive.
I mean, look, the base has started to go a little bit before the plates.
For a year, you'll be forgiven the amount of crafting you do as well.
And we test every die on them.
Yeah,
on
good.
it. So what I've got then is, if you look, I've got a perfect frame.
And that looks great.
And that's just using...
So just put a picture in there.
3 of the dies you could, and gone, yeah? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take now a piece of yellow. This is why it's always worth having one sort of die set like this that's got that level of detail, but that's not too large either. I know we do press cut nesting squares and stitch dot squares, but if you don't make a card over 5 inches or 6-inch card, this is all you need.
Nice. Yeah, well,
so
it is.
I'm just going to put this in the middle, just because I hate to waste card.
Good.
So I've got a square exactly the same, so we'll cut this one out. Nice. But what you'll see this time, I've got a piece which is the waist, and you get that, again, in lovely, beautiful frame. But the actual square has all the circles cut.
And you've got a little tip for this.
I have.
It's a good tip. It's a good tip.
And it feels so satisfying. So rather than going through like that, what you do is run your pokey tool along.
They just pop out.
And they just pop out.
Nice. It's like when you used to put those, you know, in bikes, you put those things.
Oh, the spokey dokies. I remember that. You're not old enough to remember those, Yanis. But yeah. Well, it wasn't on a BMX when I was a kid. It was on it was all racing bikes.
Did you have all those ones with the long seat?
Chopper? No, I didn't have a chopper. I think that's just slightly before mine.
They were cool.
They were really cool. Although when I was a kid they weren't, because everyone wanted racing bikes. But you can see that I've got all of those bits out really easily without having to go around. Can you imagine,
John, that looks so
putting
good.
it in 20 times?
But and you really appreciate that circular detail that you're getting there. I think it's fantastic.
But you notice as well, I'm just using plain card. So I'm not using expensive.
But it looks expensive.
But
Once
it
you've
looks
done
expensive because it's the die that's doing the work. So here I've got my frame. And what I've got is, I've got a piece of yellow. So I'm just going to... I'm going to use my glue glaze just for speed and because it's quick. And
we have got a bundle that features the glue glaze. You're also getting 2 bottles of an exceptionally good glue as well. So you've got your artist glue and your glue glaze, $9.99 your price, 521794 your item number, and that's at the bottom of
But what I love is, even though those dots are small, you still see the yellow through.
Yeah, that's nice.
So it really does sort of shadow that.
We've just used one aspect of the complete bundle. And I'm loving that. I would do that all the time. I say it's the most beautiful frame. So now we can put a sentiment in there, even if you just want to put some pattern paper behind it. Pretty.
Yeah, it would work so well. But now I'm going through, I've got 1, 2, 3 layers of cards, so I'm only cutting 1, but I'm still going to drop my die back in.
Okay.
And this to me is one of the ways I test if a die is good. to be honest.
Good test.
Because it has to cut through 3 layers.
Is this the Lockwood test?
It has to. It doesn't have to cut through 3 layers, but it has to. The die has to fit through.
Yeah.
So it's one of the ways that I do test this.
Okay.
No, there's no the Lockwood test is see if I can break it.
Okay.
Because I've broken so many things in my time.
Well, you know, that's what we want. That's the kind of
My
company I want
first
to invest
A4
in.
die cutting machine, which is a long time ago,
Yeah.
I actually broke 6 of them.
What?
In my time demoing, I actually broke 6 of them.
Wow.
So
That did not pass the Lockwood test.
no, but it was a nice machine and it cut really, really well. So I've ripped this out a little bit by mistake, but don't worry if you do that. Pair of scissors, trim it out.
Done.
Yeah, because I've gone too close to the edge. There we go.
Okay.
So now I've got my frame of my white.
Yeah.
I've got onto the grey and then it's got yellow behind it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of foam tape on this.
Nice.
And then we'll put
if
it
you want
onto
to
a
create a
grey piece.
shaker, this would be a really nice, quick, easy shaker.
It
Obviously
would.
put something on the front, maybe some acetate on the front.
A little bit of acetate and you're
Yeah.
done. Yeah, really simple to do. And you've got that little bit of extra detailing with the circles. So we'll go through. See, I thought I'd got this a little bit more prepped perhaps than I have, but I haven't, so sorry.
Okay.
But it's nice to see exactly how it's
Well,
done.
at least we're not rushing you. You've got a full hour to do.
No, that's what I love about demoing on here.
Yeah.
I never get rushed.
Yeah.
Jo Channon was saying earlier exactly the same thing.
Oh,
She said it's really nice. She gets to do something from start to finish.
I'm glad.
Okay. So,
Nice. It's nice how I really like how all the guests get on so well too.
we do. I mean, it's so nice now because although we're still in separate rooms, we are at least now allowed with our masks on to talk.
Yeah, that's nice.
Whereas before we weren't. So we've
Everyone's
been
kept apart.
all of us have been catching up.
Yeah, yeah.
So there, simple frame. Yeah, done. Really nice.
Very
but
pretty, yeah.
It's very grey.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the piece from the middle, and this is where I'm going to put my sentiment.
Oh, okay.
Now, to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the die back in.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And the reason is, now I'm using my Kaleido, which has a magnetic base, so I don't have to, it will help hold the dies in place while I'm doing it. If not, use a piece of magnetic sheet if you're concerned. But what I'm going to go for is on your, so I need on your from, where are we? There we go. So, and I'm going to go on your at the top.
Yeah.
And to help me get it completely straight, I'm pushing it against the die.
Oh, so you're using the die
Looking
to
either
line.
side.
Yeah.
Use the
Clever.
die to get it straight.
Clever.
And the other side, I'm going to do birthday, which I always struggle. So exactly the same. But look, it fits.
Perfect.
Yes. So it fits. So I'm just going to go on your birthday.
Yeah.
So we'll just run that one
Was that
through.
a conscious decision, David?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You do, and
Some
this
of it is luck sometimes.
but you will always
I
check
know-
it out, and you know that's something as a crafter, and that's the attention to detail you get being a crafter.
Yeah, I sit and sometimes I think, right, as long as I stick to the same shapes and the same basic sizing, then I find I can get everything
Yeah.
to fit. So what we've got is on your
Oh, that's so clear,
birthday,
John. That looks great.
but you
It's
see
really
it and
good,
you don't
really
see
good.
where it's tied together. It's
No.
so fine, you hardly notice the actual bits where it's makes a stencil.
Lovely.
So we've got
You
on
said
your
if
birthday.
you were patient, those little bits you popped out, you could save them and then piece
Yeah.
them back.
Again, there's a couple of samples where a couple of the girls have done this, and I must be honest, to me life is too short, but it's there if you want to.
Yeah.
It's something that some people absolutely love doing it and find it so peaceful to paper piece. It's not something I do, so I'm just going to drop this back in,
Okay.
into that gap, so now I've got the grey showing, so I'm mixing the greys and the yellows.
That's a very,
Really
very
simple.
classy card.
And then I'm just going to put it onto a larger card. So I've just made myself a card blank. I think this, knowing me, will be at least a 7x7.
Okay.
And I've matted
your
and layered it
preferred size?
with white, the orangey yellow colour, the ochre,
Yeah.
and the grey.
Oh, that looks
So
good.
we start there
That looks really good.
with on your birthday, and
Yeah.
that's the point where you can stop.
Right?
And then when you know the person you're sending it to, we'll do it. So if there's something you want to run through for a couple of
Yeah,
minutes,
okay.
and I'll get ready and I'll show
then
you
we'll
then how
carve-
we do the next stage.
We will personalise it. I really hope you're enjoying the show. This is such a good bundle. I'm going to leave the details up for the complete collection because it's where everyone is going. Have a look at that saving as a Freedom member. £50.36 is your price. You're saving £10.59 plus the £3 you would have saved from the one-day special. We are so close to calling limited stock on this. We have to wait, so it has to be exactly 10% of our stock remaining before we do trigger that limited stock, but we are a hair's breadth away. Can I just show you some examples? And this is the key why I love this set. Because when my wife is really big on this, she can't give a card. She won't just give an Easter or a Christmas or a birthday card. It has to be to that specific person. For instance, so Auntie Anne, my wife's auntie, to a special aunt, and then what she would do is use John's alphabet and write Anne in there as well. It's that real personalization. Or if you wanted to make a card for a sister-in-law, you can do that. I mean, how beautiful is that? Maybe you just want to send a lovely birthday card. The font is stunning, and then the squares, which we just seen used to such great effect from John, showing how you can make something look absolutely luxurious very simply. Have we still got the flower dies in? Oh, they're gone. Yeah, I just looked. They sold out yesterday. We do have some other flower dies though. I'm going to show you this one because remember you've got alternatives for mum. If it's more a ma'am, if you say ma'am, get well soon ma'am, you've got that one. Or how about this for a granddaughter? Or maybe you want to make a card for a stepsister. You've got that autonomy. Oh, it's a sister-in-law, sorry. But we have got step. Have we got step as well in there? We have got a step. Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking ahead. Let me just show you something else. Last one I'll leave you with. I mean, look at that. And if that was, say, a die or a stamp, think how much you'd pay just for that one. But you've got that autonomy. We are so close. In the next 30 seconds, you're going to hear me calling limited stock, I think. I tell you what we'll do, just before I do that, I think we're going to show you a little video of some of the potential ways you can take this incredible collection. I think by the time we come back, we're going to be calling limited stock. Let's find out. Beautiful, beautiful examples. And you can see there just some of the possibilities of where we go. Everybody, it has happened. I knew it was going to happen because we're just so busy at the moment. We are limited stock, so we've got less than 10% of the stock remaining for this incredible one-day special. But we're talking about the complete bundle. So you're getting the one-day special, and then on top of that, you're getting the phenomenal tartan die and the squares, and those two just work so well in conjunction with the occasions as well. There are queues on the phone line, so I am so sorry if you're currently stuck in a queue. Fastest way to order, if you have access, if you've got a smartphone or a tablet or a computer, go to our website. It's thecraftstore.com, and then you can check out, and there are no queues. But if you prefer to speak to someone, obviously stay on the line and our call centre will get through to you as soon as possible. As a Freedom member, you are paying less than £1 per die, but it's all about those possibilities. I know we've got to move on, and we've just seen some examples, but in front of me here, I just keep picking up cards and thinking, look, I mean, how good does that look? And it's the clearness of the font as well, because John, have you ever been, I just want to show, this is with the actual tartan die as well, just to give you an example there. Do you find, John, and I've found this working on a craft channel, sometimes you see a beautiful font and then you have to kind of take a double look just to read it properly, because it can be lost. So clear, but still looks really pretty.
It was a real challenge on these to get a font that was elegant, that, as you say, was classy, but also was readable. I love a lot of the swirly ones, but you can't see the S half the time. The S is missing in a lot of words because they seem to go to a point and come down. So it was nice to do this that isn't blocky. It doesn't make me think of one of those rulers that we had at school. With the, with the stencils.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly I'm so close to not saying the brand name of it. But you know the ones. But I wanted something that looked classic, that looked cool, that looked smart, but that wasn't too masculine or too feminine, and that would work for anyone.
You described that beautifully. This is a set that is going to grow. So we've had previous words released, and there will be more in the future. So get on board. Got to give you the details. If you are a Freedom member, it's less than £1 a die. If you're not a Freedom member, it's £55.95. Freedom membership, you're saving £10.59 plus the £3 already factored in to the price from the one-day special. And your first flexi payment as a Freedom member, £25.80. You have 18 pence. You're getting everything. 974 249 your item number. We are limited stock. We are busy, and we are currently on course to sell out before the end of this hour. Just saying. Okay, right, we're going to move on because we got more for you. We had a look at the circle die with the buttons. Now, this actually did sell out. We brought it back on extended delivery. It's going to be the 21st of May. We're going to send this out. But the extended delivery is absolutely flying too. As a die, this is incredibly useful. And what I would suggest, and you are, by the way, getting buttons, these will be assorted, so it might not necessarily be these exact colorways you're seeing here, but you will be getting 5 packets of beautiful buttons. We're well over 80% of the stock, and it's going to be another item we're going to be calling limited stock very soon. John came up with a good idea. You were saying spend a bit of time doing a bit of batch cutting, and then just leave your little craft candy in some storage so it's there to pick out when you need it. Yeah,
it's so useful to use, and just to match it into papers you use all the time. And the interesting thing on this one, I should have actually said earlier, the actual stock we brought back on extended was twice the amount we put on the original show.
Oh, okay.
Because actually, to be fair, Peter actually scraped every last one we'd got.
And so if it sells out,
although this has been seen on a previous show, sold out, then sold out last night, I genuinely think this is it for this one now, for this bundle. We won't be bringing it back onto a show in the sort of near future at all.
So with regard to the craft candy, just having that ability, rather than buying bags every time you think, okay, so I need a bag of the pink, and you go and buy that £2–3, you can make your own. But it's that real autonomy to get full consistency with your design, because you're using your backing papers. So whatever papers you have, John was saying you found some papers that you got sort of cheap as chips, sort of happy hour papers.
Yeah, they were Crafts 2 sale show papers, the gingham ones. And all I did was use them as a backing paper. I wanted embellishments to the front. And sometimes, say with the pink gingham, it's very hard for me to find pearls or gems that are that pink, are that particular colour. So what I was able to do was I took a scrap of the paper, I just spray glued it onto a little bit of card just to give it some stability, and cut it out. But that is just one cut that made that card, the card with all the dots in that's got the pink in it as well, and all the spare bits in there was just one cut.
Oh wow! So you get a lot.
You get a lot. I mean, I should probably sit and count how many sort of circles there are on that, but there's far too many for me to count.
There are. Now I've just got to remind you, contents may vary with regard to the buttons. You are saving £28.96. £9.99 your price. We are approaching limited stock on this, and John said categorically there is no more. That's it. Once this bundle goes, it's gone. And when you consider that, oh look, how much would you pay just for the button? I think it's reasonable to say, what, £1, say, per packet for the buttons? So that's £5 there. You're effectively paying £5 just for the die. 224-440, your item number, going to be dispatched from the 21st of May. It's going to go. And 21st of May is tomorrow. So, okay. Right, now, this was something John brought recently, and it's nice because it's such a good bundle. I'm glad we're able to offer it on the show today, John.
Yeah, so am I, because I think we are getting to the bottom of our existing stock of press to impressors.
Really?
Yes.
Well, that's a scary thought.
It is a scary thought because I know how many we've been getting in.
And
and I also know when the boat with the next lot is landing, and I can't say any of that, and I can't say how many or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I was really pleased. This was supposed to be on the last show, and we couldn't put it on because I wanted to save it for this one.
Right.
So you know, if there's anything left from this one, it'll probably go on the Kaleido show, and then you won't see that bundle for about. You probably won't see the press to impress, or certainly this bundle, for it could be upwards of 8 weeks at the minimum.
Right. So, I mean, you have been warned, and I love the press to impress as a stamping platform is phenomenal. And one thing I've noticed is how many guests here at the craft store who are not affiliated to Crafts2 use it. And John was saying, please do this if you're sitting on the fence getting a stamping platform. Have a look on YouTube, social media, specifically YouTube. There was an independent, so a crafter, independent, nothing to do with Crafts2. We know her. She used to be here at the craft store, actually. She independently tested all the leading brands.
Yes, and she tested about 6 or 7 different brands of it, and this came out the top.
See, that's a massive statement.
Yeah, and it was. And to me, I've always known it's my favourite. It's the one I use. And I've actually seen slowly over time demonstrators move from using perhaps the leading named brand.
Yeah.
Then they've moved to another brand.
Yeah.
And I've seen them get their final home with ours.
Well, okay, so
And you know, again, it's unfair to say who, but you know, you've watched them go through it and go, and then eventually go, oh, they finally realised now they're using ours.
I did a show with you, and I know I said this yesterday, but I did a show with John, and we were just focusing on the press to impress, and he said something. I was like, oh, I get this now because I have a leading brand. I bought it when it first came to the craft store when we were at Hochanda. It was one of my first purchases.
Yes, I bought the same one. I think we're talking of the same one. I bought it.
So what I will say, as stamping, platforms they're a game changer. So, you know, you do need one in your life. But I really struggle with it. And I thought it was me. I thought it was user error. I'm obviously doing something wrong, and I've just kind of persevered with it. And then I did a show with John, and you kind of explained. So tell everyone again what you were saying.
What you've actually got is, it's almost like the law of physics. It's this part, the boring part for me. In a stamp press, or in anything, when you're stamping, you've got a hard surface. Yeah. And you're stamping onto a hard surface that is card. Yeah. And if you don't have any foam in your platform, and I've slid my foam out to actually put the plate in.
It's okay.
If you haven't got any foam in your platform, you're stamping onto a hard surface onto a hard surface. Yeah. You put pressure on,
there's no give.
Then what happens is there's no give anywhere in that sandwich. Yeah. And what actually happens is that sometimes it doesn't reach, and sometimes your stamp blobs.
It's exactly two more problems that I have,
smushes because the pressure has to go somewhere. And what I love about the press to impress is it has the foam for the clear stamps. Yeah, obviously I've taken mine out to put my plate that you will get in this bundle in for the stenciling. But the other thing it has is, and I checked this because I have got the one you've got at home, and that just has a pure plastic base. Yes. This has another layer of foam on the base. So even if, and that's the same density of foam, so even if I stamp onto this hard plate after I've stenciled, I've still got that give, which means that I get a clear, crisp impression. And I was doing that on the show when we launched this plate a couple of weeks ago.
It is a great stamping platform. So if you ever struggle, or if you've got a stamping platform right now at home and you do struggle with it, and I've heard, it's not just me, I've heard other crafters say the same thing, the press to impress will be a game changer for you. You're also getting your magnets in there. You're getting two of the new magnets as well, which are the Easy Lift magnets. You've got a fantastic storage case for your press to impress too, just making it look snazzy. Now, one thing I want to point out, this is very interesting, John. So you're getting this in the bundle, the 2 rules, and you're getting your base. So how do you use those? Right,
this is the best thing to me. This turns your stamping platform, your press to impress, from a press to impress to a creation station.
Oh, okay.
Because what you've got is, you can't stencil onto this base. No. Because it's grid lined and it's textured, so well, your texture will come through. You can't do it onto your foam because it's not a flat surface. What you do is you put this in and it's got the same measurements as you've got on your press to impress. So if you need to put a piece of card or a stencil in a set place, you can.
Perfect.
Because you just go, say if I want it at the 0.5 and 5, go from 5 and 5, that is exactly 5 centimetres in from each side.
Right.
Yeah. So I've got points on there. So if I take a piece of card, and I was going to do this in a while, but
Oh, just while you're looking,
Yeah.
I've just got a little update on our die. So our circle die with the buttons, we are limited stock. Now, that's our stock. Once it's gone, we do not have any more. And if you do want to get hold of this, you're saving £28.96, £9.99. Not only are you getting this phenomenal die, which I promise you're going to use time and time again, but you're also getting your buttons. These will be assorted, so I can't tell you the precise colours you're going to get, but you will get some beautiful buttons. We are into single figures. So potentially in the next 5 minutes, I could be calling a technical sellout here. Now, I've had an email in from Elaine just saying how many circles are in the die. It's 80. It is 80.
Oh, thank you, Elaine.
So, no, I think Elaine was asking us.
Oh.
Yeah, and we were telling her.
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought Elaine had got one at home and had counted it.
So did I.
It's 80,
so
Elaine.
80.
That's crazy.
We think, okay, because how many, on an A4 sheet, how many of those would you be able to do?
You would fit that on at least 4 times, but probably possibly 6.
So you think about that, times 80.
Yeah.
That's a lot of little
I've got
circles.
mine here, so I will fit it once,
Yeah,
twice, 3,
yeah.
4, 5. I reckon at least 5.
Wow.
So that goes to there. Yeah.
Yeah, 400.
So that goes to the 12 centimetre
Yeah,
mark.
okay.
And that one doesn't come down to the 12 centimetre mark.
But you still
so
cut
I
it through
know
and get those last scraps.
1, yeah, 2, 3. I'll get 3 across and at least 2 that way, so I'll get at least 5.
Well, there you go.
And if not more, if I was very careful with the end bit.
So we're saying a minimum 400.
Wow, that's a lot. That is a lot.
And it's the ability of making your own, but unfortunately I've got good news and bad news. Good news is that whoever's got this is going to absolutely love it. Bad news is technically sold out, so if it is in your basket, please, please, please make sure to check out. If any do bounce back, I will tell you. Also busy for this bundle too. Now we're going to get back to John. If you want to get hold of this, Press to Impress is a very good stamping platform, and I understand that there are a lot of stamping platforms on the market. If you have a moment, just take a look at the reviewers. Say, go onto YouTube and type in stamping platform comparison, and you'll be able to see that video. It's a really good video, and it kind of explains why the Press to Impress is so good. You're also getting your now your mask, your stencils in here too. So if I just show you, so you've got the different shapes, the hearts. You've got all of these lovely shapes going through. Circle, but even the edge here, you'll be using that to create little mountain valleys, your oval, and then your square. Okay, so there we go. $54.94 is your price if you do want to get hold of this bundle. We are approaching half the stock, and I think we're going to see it in action. Go for it, John.
Right, so it's going to, you asked about the stencil plate.
Yeah.
So what I've got here is a piece of card down, yeah?
Okay.
And I'm going to use a die cut piece. I've used this 3 times now.
Right.
So I've used this 3 times to stencil, but look, it's not wrecked.
Oh.
Because I don't have to spray glue it down, I don't have to tape it down. So I can put that on,
Yeah.
and then I can go and move that around, so I can have a circle
Oh, that's clever.
of tartan. Because I use the circle, then all I do is hold it in place with the magnets. So all those stencils are held in place. No tape, no glue, anything. Yeah. I can use paste or anything through it. And I'm going to obviously just make a mess. Or it's going to look like a mess. It probably will be a mess, to be honest. So I'm just going to go on.
Did email back in. She did count. Thank you, Elaine.
Thank you, Elaine.
Bless her.
I think I know which Elaine that will be. That's why I assumed that she'd actually counted it.
Oh, okay. She probably did. Maybe we got the wrong end of the stick.
No. So we just go around like that, yeah? But look, I'm not having to hold the stencil or anything in place.
That's so handy.
Yeah. And then remember, this is a die-cut piece of 220 GSM card.
So you've just turned your die into a stencil.
Into a stencil without having to cut acetate or anything else. So I'm going to make,
Mylar.
you know, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I haven't had to use Mylar, acetate, anything that you're sort of supposed to do on it. Yeah. So, and I'm not being gentle. No. This is what I love about this one. So I'm just going up those wider stripes. So I've made a bit of a mess, yeah? No, I haven't. That's what's so clever about it. So now I take that off.
Oh.
Then when I take that off.
Oh, John, that looks so good.
But that was using a die cut piece.
John, that looks incredible.
And of course, what I can do is I can actually find the spot, drop that back,
closing blinds.
I can drop that back and I can go just lightly over the rest, yeah, to keep it that way.
Oh, John.
Yeah.
John.
Put this back because it's not moved.
That's so good.
So remember, this hasn't moved.
Yeah.
That's the fab thing, because it's held in place. So now I can go around the outside of this circle.
And you're just pulling the ink back in.
Pulling the ink that everything, whatever's on the stencil in, pull it to the centre, and now it's like it's a bit of a magic eye.
John, I've got 4 words for you. Get in my basket. Look at that. Yeah, and I'm sure you at home, you're with me on something. You know, when you're watching and you kind of, because I was looking at the Press to Impress, and I love it. I do love it. But I was watching, there's that moment, that eureka moment where you're like, yeah, I need this in my life. So it's such a good bundle. And I also pay attention to John, and he slips in little nuggets of information. He was saying, look, when all the stock does go for the current stock for the Press to Impress that Crafts2 have, it could be another 8 weeks before they get more stock in. So you have been warned. Half the stock has gone here. $54.94 your price. You're not just getting the Press to Impress, you're getting the carry case. Those stencil stroke masks are incredible, and I'll be doing the technique John just shared with you a few moments ago. You're getting the base, turning it into a crafting station, and you're getting the magnetic rulers in there as well. So they just slot on all of that, and you can split the price in half as well. So you're saving £6, and you can pay half now, which is £27.47, and then in 4 weeks' time, £27.47. It excites me, the thought of working with a new stamping platform and one that actually works.
Yes, that was the thing for me. It was like, it's not me.
Yeah, because I did think it was me. I genuinely
They
thought
always say
me.
a bad workman blames his tools, and as crafters, we're terrible for that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time we blame ourselves. Yeah. And we go and look at ourselves and say, no, actually, on that one, it was the tool. To me, or certainly for me anyway.
Well, I kind of got the stamping platform because everyone was saying stamping can be hard, and we always say it's that safety net, and it's changed the way the stamping platform has brought a lot of people back to stamping. But then when I was struggling with my platform, and now having a platform that actually works, I think will change the way I work again.
It really, really does. It really makes a difference. So what I'm going to do now is I've decided to drop my dies on the floor. I wish I'd decided that. It just happens. So what I've said is we've got on your birthday. So this card's ready and sat in my box, waiting to go on. And it's actually suddenly right. It's my stepsister's birthday. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I've got a strip here just of light yellow. So it's the light yellow that pulls that together. But all I do is if I want to put them all together sort of in a strip. Yeah. This is where it's so much easier to my mind than a stamp.
Oh, okay.
Because what I do is I just stick down sister. Yeah. Yeah. And then I just take step and I butt it up.
Oh, nice.
And as long as
lined
it's
up for you there.
Lined up on the top and the bottom, then that's in line.
Well, that's really nice.
So instead of having to try and, because I don't know if you've ever done it. I mean, it kills me when I get separate stamps that say stepsister. Trying to get them next to each other, you can't because of the edge. Yeah. So you have to stamp them separately. So you really struggle to get them in a straight line. Whereas this should go in a perfect straight line. Of course, it won't because it's TV and it makes me.
I have full faith.
And I always get things wrong.
But it's such a good modular system, and so you have full control. You decide if it's going to be stepsister, is it going to be your great aunt, is it going to be your brother-in-law? You can do that. We said like father and father if you want. Now, we've had, we were asking yesterday actually, please send in your suggestions because this is a range that's only going to increase, and in time John's going to bring you more collections. Was it Pauline? Pauline has a good one. Partner.
On the relationship set that'll be out later in the year, towards the end.
Partner. And Katie, our producer, and want to be passed on one. Lover.
Lover.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not on the relationships one from next year. To be fair, I'm from later in the year. I'm not going to pretend.
It's a bit
but
early
we'll
for that,
add
Katie.
that onto the list only for you, Miss Larkham.
There you go. So you want to make a nice card for Mish?
Yeah. So I'm just adding a little bit of glue glaze on the back. I've been using spray glue, but I wanted to show people in this hour how it works so well with the glue glaze, because a lot of people do struggle with their breathing with things like spray glue. Yeah. So there we can see onto the orange card, but there.
Perfect alignment.
It's the right spacing between them, and they're all on the line.
John, that is so neat.
So it's really, really simple. So all I'm going to do is literally just arbitrarily cut about the same border on each side.
Yeah.
And then you see there, it works across the centre. And all I do is just take a little bit of foam tape on each end. And to me, even when I make a completely flat card, there's a little bit of foam tape somewhere, just to add a little bit of distance on. Yeah, I'm going to put a bit in the middle.
Right.
Okay, but we've gone down there we've got a layer in there, already. So if I want to bring it up flat on one layer going into a dip, I need to do 2.
Okay.
And if I want to do what I want to do, which is dome it, I need to do 3.
Oh.
So if I want it to be raised and stay prominent, I need to do 1 on each side and then 2 in the middle for that.
Right.
But I'm going to dome it.
You're going full on.
So what I'm going to do is just put 3 in the centre. So first of all, I'm going to hold it by the foam tape,
right,
and get it nice and even in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Push that down. Then I'm going to push that bit up.
Oh, so it's giving it that bent sort of domed effect.
And that bit up.
Oh, that's nice.
So I've got that little sort of doming effect there. There we go.
Kind of ripple.
Yeah, so it sort of ripples it across, and then all I would do is I'm going to.
It looks like it's waving in the wind.
It does actually, but it's actually straight, but it doesn't look it. But then that's the story of most of my cards. To be fair, most of my cards are wonky. Yeah. Most literally, people sort of say they are, and you know they. Sam looks at some of them and sometimes goes, "That's wonky." I went, "Yeah, I made it." Nice. So. I've used here the small flowers. Yeah. So I've just cut these.
We have got these. I'm just going to show everybody. So, because I say we sold out of the periwinkle dies. It was yesterday we featured them. But having a look here, these are very pretty. So $13.98 for both. You're getting your small flowers and your small leaves. That's a very good price. 379-427 your item number.
Right. So what I've done is I don't actually like it dipping in the middle.
Right.
So I've pulled it up and I'm going to add another little piece of foam tape in just to support it.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually on 4 rather than 3.
Yeah.
So I get the proper swathe as I want it.
Nice.
Excuse me. So I've now got my flowers. And all I'm going to do is just add these on randomly, and I'm going to do this with blobs of glue glaze. Then use my tool picker tool to pick them up and drop each flower on.
Perfect.
And I've cut them in the same colours. But it's a case of decorating this once I've done
it's a nifty
the
little
sentiment.
tool.
Oh, this is so useful.
Yeah. You can get it as an end of call, so when you're checking out, you can add it to your baskets. But you're getting 2 of those as well.
But it doesn't make a mess. I love things that don't make a mess, that are easy to pick up.
You mentioned a point yesterday. I love working with you, John, because I learned so much. And you're absolutely right, because yesterday you were mentioning if you use a pencil sort of pickup tool, it indents what you're working on here because it's soft. You're not going to be damaging any of your work.
So when you're paper piecing, this is perfect. Yeah. But they're all done, and all I would do is stick some little pearls in the centre. But we're done. So the first stage we showed you how to make the on your birthday. Yeah. So you could have that made in 3 or 4 colours.
And just ready to go.
And then when it's it's our Nikki's birthday next thing. Oh right, okay, I better do a sister or a sister-in-law or a stepsister
or
auntie or grandmother, and you've got all the options to do it in. So you do the first bit and then just sentiment it afterwards. And this strip is just 1 inch. That's all it is. It's 1 inch wide. Right. So you just cut 1 inch wide strip and that will fit perfectly.
Ah, there you go. And that's what you can achieve with this phenomenal bundle. You're getting the one-day special included in the big bundle. And we're leaving out the details for the big bundle. It's because where most of you are going, and I'm not surprised, because within the big bundle, you've got flexi payments in there. You're also getting the tartan and the squares on top of all of your occasion dies that you're seeing here. 51 dies in total, and as a Freedom member, it's less than £1 per die. Let's just have a look at some possibilities. So if you want to, like masculine cards for granddad or grandfather, how stunning is that?
That card actually, if you actually give it a little bit of a wiggle, can you see the ship? Yeah. The ship is foiled in blue.
Oh, nice.
That's a stamp that was done foiled in the Kaleido.
Oh, is that a Kaleido stamp?
So that's a little sneak peek. You didn't know that, did you?
I really didn't.
That's a sneak peek for Sunday. But that's actually not a topper, that's not a commercially bought topper, that is a stamp that's been stamped and foiled in the Kaleido.
I am so excited about the Kaleido being back in stock. It sold out when we first brought it to you, it sold out, and so we've been waiting for it. Sunday, it's coming back on Sunday. Let's have a look at some other possibilities, and I'm conscious I want to show examples we haven't already seen. Well, now this is an interesting one. This is where you're really starting to get imaginative. So now we've created a whole verse, but it's a special verse to Grandma, so lots of love on your special birthday, Grandma. That is the perfect example why I love this system.
Yeah. That is a stamp. So if you bought a stamp that said lots of love on your special birthday, Grandma, if you would, going from that, that would be at least £7. Because it's the major part of an A6 set.
Oh, absolutely.
So that would be at least
more.
£7 just for that, but we built it, that's the difference.
And you can, but then we can go from that. You try finding a stamp that says belated birthday cousin.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it. Not going to do it. Or what about mother-in-law? Don't leave out your mother-in-law. Or another beautiful example here. So with lots of love on your birthday, sister. It's the power and scope and autonomy you have to create any sentiment you like, because it's a fully modulated system. It's one system. You've already brought out previous words.
Yeah.
In the previous collection, just for anyone who missed it, what did we have?
We'd got Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter. It was sort of events.
Yeah.
Whereas this is occasions, that was events. There was a happy birthday in there.
Okay.
And I can't remember the rest off the top of my head.
Well, that's okay. I don't want to put you on the spot.
I think Sent with Love might have been in there, but it was to give you a start, and then I thought, right, then we'll do occasions, then we'll do family, and that's what we're bringing next.
And this is what I love, because it's going to be something that John will grow and expand on in time, and please get your suggestions in. But look at all the choices you have here. We are less than 5% of the stock for our big bundle, and I can't promise you that it's going to last up until 6. Normally we say that obviously we honour the one-day special price until 6 o'clock, but I can't guarantee it's going to be there. John, you're an absolute star.
No, so are you.
Thank you so much for joining us. So we've got to talk about Sunday.
Yes.
Big event.
Yes. We've got it's a 2-hour special. It's the Let Lockers Loose sort of craft show.
2 till 4?
2 till 4. It's all about the Kaleido. We're going to have it back in stock with the foils and everything. And the Kaleido will turn... And new products to go with it. Any stamp you have... You're going to be able to foil. Any stamp, any embossing folder, any stencil. Amazing. Anything that you can use ink with, you can now foil with the Kaleido. And we've got new products as well. We've got new bits to go with it. I'm tuning in. John, thank you so much. You're an absolute star. Thank you for joining us. I really hope you've enjoyed it. This is what makes the craft store such a special place. Don't go anywhere. Plenty more.